This is example 1 for the additional views and dimensions lesson. To begin example 1, with our example 1 part file open, we want to select New and select the 8.5 by 11 inch drawing template and select OK. We can close the Insert Model View dialog and open the View palette. From the View palette, we'll select example 1, select the top view, and insert it in the location for the top view. With that complete, we can press Escape, as we don't want to add any more projected views. Next, we'll select Section View, and we're immediately prompted with the Line command. With our Line command, we want to draw a line through the location that we want to section, and we're being told that this doesn't completely cut through the geometry. Do you still want a partial section cut? Yes, we do. And drag our view over and drop it. Currently it's headed in the wrong direction, so I'm going to double click the end of my section line to flip the direction that that section view is looking, and then I'll select Rebuild to rebuild my section view. Now I also want a section view that slices through the middle of this part, and that's not going to be a single section line. So to do that, I need to first select the Center Line tool and draw the lines that will be used to create that section view. In this case, my angled line will need to be horizontal to the edge of this tab. So I'm going to select the edge of the tab and my angled center line and select Parallel. Next, I'll select the horizontal section line and select Align Section View. I can then come down below my part and drop that section view. Again, we can see that the section is looking in the wrong direction, so I'm going to double click the end of those section lines and then rebuild my view. And now we can see that we have the views that we want to begin dimensioning. You'll see because the top view is the center one to this file, it is the top view that brings both of the other views with it. By moving the front view, I simply get the opportunity to move up and down, and the horizontal position is now locked by the top view. Now before we add our dimensions, we would like to hide some of these edges to make the drawings a little more appealing to the eye. Because this pocket is really just this middle profile, the inside line and the outside lines are a result of the fillets. And quite often fillets are going to confuse your drawing. So what we're going to do is hold Control down and select the edges that are simply the fillets. Right click and select Hide Edge. So again, I'm simply selecting my edges. If I hold Control down, I can select all of them. And once they're all selected, I can continue holding Control, right click, and select Hide Edge. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing in my section views. Again, just a way to definitely make this drawing much easier to look at and help the user more quickly understand what is really going on. There, that cleaned up the drawing quite a bit. So now we can begin adding our dimensions. I'll activate my dimension command with the D key. I'll add my dimension to the height, the diameter of this boss, diameter of, we want to center it. Now we want to center to center location between these two circles. I could either do it in this top view here, which is probably going to be the best way to do it. And to do so, you can see that I want to jump to having that angular dimension. We also want an overall length, so I'll do the same thing for an overall length of that boss. We also need a width of our slot. As well as dimensioning the depth of that slot. I'm going to right click and say Annotations and Hole Callout to insert the information on the counter bore for this particular hole. I can add my overall distance to the top portion of the tab and begin dimensioning the slot as well. Keeping in mind that many of those dimensions for that slot should be done over on the section view. Now I haven't inserted all the dimensions. I can leave that up to you to finish adding the dimensions. But before we continue, we should go ahead and see how to add a note. So I'm going to right click, select Annotations, and select Note. Then I'll enter Note 1. It'll be fillets and rounds 1/8 of an inch unless otherwise stated. Note 2 will be QAs are 1/4 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch. And let's just move this note so that it's on our page. Again, we've added our nice little note there. And we need to conclude by editing the sheet format and changing the name to your name. With that complete, we can edit the sheet. And as I said, finish adding the dimensions using your dimensioning standards and save your work. I trust this example was a help. When you're complete, you can move on to example 2.